Grace and peace be multiplied unto you. Thank you so much for joining in with us tonight for this Walking Through the Word Bible class. Thank you for those of you who are getting logged on, and thank you for those of you who are gathering in person with us. Our broadcast has begun, and we are live at this moment. And so as you're gathering in, please consider that we are live, and we want to make sure that everybody gets in comfortably and settled in. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you. Thank you to our intercessors. Thank you to our intercessors. We appreciate you so much. Thank you tonight, Lady Johnson and Reverend Young, for holding it down tonight. We certainly appreciate you and appreciate your efforts in continuing to keep us lifted and covered in prayer. Thank you to those of you who are getting logged in. Like and share this broadcast if you would. Like and share as we are preparing to continue into our gathering in person on Wednesday nights. Good for us to be in the house of worship. Thank you so much for getting logged in, and thank you for hanging out with us. We'll be the next 25 to minutes. And so I am going to ask Brother Davion if you can find you just maybe one camera person, because I need to do a little moving tonight with a few illustrative points. I'm going to need to do some moving, and I'm going to need you to get those individuals who are involved with our movement. And so as you are preparing, Reverend Williams, there is in front of me 2x4 hammers and nails. 2x4 hammers and nails. Yep, thank you. Deacon Brown, would you come? If you're good, okay. All right. Sister Ellaby, would you come? Thank you. We are still live. What did she say? I'm gonna act like I ain't hear her. She said something. And how y'all doing back there in the back? How y'all doing? Good. Do me a favor and move up. How y'all doing back there in the back? Do me a favor and move up. Thank you. Come on, y'all move up. We're not that many of us, and I want to make sure that we're all engaged tonight. I just need one person, right? One usher at the door. Just one person. Week in and week out, we can have one person there. Week in and week out, just one person. All right. And let me spiritually help you in that sense. So I've said, let's make sure we just have one person there, ushers, and you got to make sure that we're following that, so that when you're asking people to do stuff, they'll follow that. Whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And so, all right, Reb, if you move those glass containers for me, and if you, Deacon Brown and Sister Ellaby, there should be you know how you have a little pre-thing, right, where you can get ready to nail something? Should be a pre. Go ahead and start nailing. Should be 6. Should be 6. Do y'all see them? Little pre. Yeah, 6. Reverend Cassette, would you? Sister Fisher, come here. Sister Fisher, yeah, come here. Is my hammer over there? How many hammers? 3. We need another hammer. We are. Am I good? Am I on? We got everybody on camera. Good. Not far. Just get enough in there where it goes through, though. Thank you for those of you watching. We are right in the midst of our Bible class tonight. Right now, what we're doing is nailing nails into some 2x4s. Those of you who are watching on the screen, we're nailing nails into 2x4s, maybe about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6. A little bit deeper for me. A little bit deeper. That's what we're doing right now. We're nailing. Thank you so much for getting logged in. 1 Timothy chapter 3. 1 Timothy chapter 3. Type it on the screen for those who are watching. 1 Timothy chapter 3. We are nailing 2x4s. Sister Ellaby can do a lot of talking, but she sure can't hit no hammer. She is not doing good. Deacon Brown almost done with 7 nails, and she just, he helping her now. All right, that's what, yes, we are. That is a valid point. That's a valid point. Thank you. We good? Are they stand? If you move, if I was to move that, Deacon Brown, the nails wouldn't come out, will they? If I was to move it? Cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah, real good. 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 All righty. Excellent. Thank you. Stay close, though. Y'all can just sit close where I'm going to need y'all again. So stay close, okay? Stay close. All right. Thank you. Stay close. All right. 1 Timothy chapter 3. Somebody get 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse number 4. 1 Timothy chapter 3. I'm sorry, verse number 15. Verse number 15. Stay with me. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse number 15. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse, what do we say? 15. All right? Somebody go ahead and read verse 15 for me. Verse 15. Thank you, Brother Davion. I'm doing the best I can to try to stay a little centered. I don't know if I'll be able to do it all night. 1 Timothy chapter 3, right? Verse number what? 15. Somebody read it for me. Stop, right? If I tarry long, you can sit down. If I tarry long, that thou may know how to behave thyself in the house of God. If you're taking notes or you have a Bible, I want you to underline behave and house of God. I want you to underline behave and house of God. If you use an electronic device, you can highlight it with your electronic device, and if somebody will type that, and if you're sitting in the sanctuary and you're on Facebook Live, I want you to type behave and house of God on Facebook Live. Behave and house of God. Behave and house of God, right? I want to highlight that as Paul pens this letter to his protege, Timothy, his young protege, Timothy, and he's preparing Timothy for leadership. He's preparing Timothy for leadership. He says to him after in 1 Timothy, there is qualifications for leadership. He gives the qualifications for bishops, the qualifications for deacons, and he gives those qualifications. He highlights, though, in verse number 15, if I tarry long, I want you to understand a couple of things. Number one, how to behave in the household of God. I want to note for a moment household of God representing a family. Say that with me. Household of God represents family. All right? And I think it's important if we take that approach to family because there are some needs that a family has. Say that with me. There are some needs that a family has. And one of the things that we know we have to do as it relates to a family is that we have to feed our family. Would you talk to me? We have to feed our family. There must be nutrition. There must be nourishment, right? The family has to eat, right? And so as we begin to equate that into our behavior in the household of God, we have to ask ourselves then, what are we doing as a family to remain healthy? Right? What are we intaking? What is our nutrition? Because I think a lot of times, and I think here's the struggle, especially for 21st century ministry, I think here's the struggle, is that we so many times we can contribute our success to addition. We contribute our success to addition. I want to perhaps argue tonight that if there's no nutrition, there will be no addition. I want to argue that if we're not healthy, that God is not going to add unto an unhealthy environment. Are you with me? God will not add to an unhealthy environment. And so if he's going to groom us, and if he's going to grow us, if we're going to progress because we are intaking the right nutrition, and therefore we are healthy from the inside out. And then when God sees we are healthy, now we can have addition. But we got to be healthy first. right? And so the topic or discussion tonight is, and I mentioned this last Wednesday. If you listen to the brief moment that I shared, I mentioned this last week because one of the things that we have to work on is try to figure out, why do we behave the way we do within the family structure, right? I want you to ask yourself, when you think about this family system, right? Because we said the household of God is a what? It's a what? Come on, talk back to me. This is illustration, and this is us communicating. The household of God is a what? It's a what? And if we can ever address it like that, I think now that we can begin to grow the family if we are healthy ourselves. If we are healthy ourselves. And I think what has plagued or been the stagnant piece as it relates to church growth is I think we have too many unhealthy people so that we don't know how to connect with other people because we're unhealthy. And it's a challenge for us because when you're unhealthy, it's hard for you to draw people because you're unhealthy. And so it's interesting, as Paul is preparing Timothy for leadership, one of the things that he instructs him in 1 Timothy, he's like, listen, you got to know how to behave yourself. You got to know how to act. Right? And anytime you got to know how to act, that means there has to be some level of rules, regulations, standards, right? That we all have to adhere to, because if not, then we don't behave properly within the family. Right? And the family has to be what? Fed. That's the first. I think that is the critical point of it. It has to be fed. And so we've got to ask ourselves, what are we consuming, and does it make us healthy or does it make us unhealthy? What are you consuming? What impact are we making on those we are connected to within our family? Right? Do I regret coming here on Wednesday or Sundays because I don't want to be around my family? Right? Is it a regret? Is it like, oh gosh? Right? What happens to you when you see your other family members? Right? Because I'm determined, if we're going to grow, we're going to get healthy first. Right? And the only way to get healthy is you got to tell the truth about where you are. And it's not necessarily that something is wrong with the family, something is wrong with you. And so what type of impact or imprint are you having on the family? Isn't it interesting that when Paul instructs Timothy and preparing him for leadership, he says one of his areas of concern, how that ought to behave thyself in the house of what? In the house of God. Which means we don't get to do what we want to do. We just don't. And that's just not pew. That's from pastor to pew. I don't get to do just what I want to do. Not in the house. How do we interact? How do we treat our family? How do we handle our family? Right? And the impact that we make on our family, the impact that we make on our family is predicated not upon the family, but upon who you are. And either that's going to be a good impact, or it's going to be a bad impact. Any impact, there is going to be a sign that impact has been made. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we will know that impact has taken place. I'll prove it. Right? All right. Reb or Deacon Brown, take a nail out, please. Just one nail. Thank you. Remember, we did what? We nailed them in, right? And when we nailed them in, they had what? Impact, right? All right, take a nail out. Do you see the hole where you nailed that in? Impact has been made. That hole is symbolic. Hold it up so they can see it. The 2x4. The hole is there. You got me? Because it's been what? It's been impacted. Right? The hole is there. And because it's been what? Impact. Every time you do something in this family, guess what you make? You either leave me in position, either I need to try to heal that hole or I need to make it bigger. Are you with me? Every time you talk to me, every time you say certain things to me, guess what you're doing? And when you make that impact and all of a sudden you apologize, take the nail out, guess what's still there? And some of us think because we said we're sorry, like I don't still have the hole. And so before you make another impact, before you say another word to somebody, think about the hole that you're driving. Teach Lakevi Centrell Johnson, I came on purpose to do it. Every time you say something to me, guess what you do? Every time you treat me some kind of way and mishandle me, guess what you do? And the church has been notorious for making bad impact. Why? Because we don't know how to handle one another because we're not healthy ourselves. Thank you, Dick. You'll be back. I'm going to have you up and down. I'm sorry. You make an impact. Paul says, be careful how you behave yourself in the family, because you can cause irreparable damage. And there are people, you better hear me, there are people who are sitting in our congregation who don't want to be here. Because somebody said the wrong thing. Boom. I was already fighting just to stay in church, and then I was on my last leg. It was hell all week long. I was frustrated on my job. I got messed up dealing with people, and all of a sudden I came to church and somebody made a and I got a hole. And there are people sitting amongst us with holes. And we think when we apologize, take the nail out, take another one out for me, Deke. Take another one out because I got to make sure we have some consistency. Got to make sure that this nail wasn't different so it ain't got no hole. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. Well, she got mad at that one. Put that one all the way in. She made a big impact, didn't she? Stop, Dick. Stop. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Such an impact was made. Stand that one up. Second impact when I was made. And even when I tried to apologize, I couldn't even get because it penetrated and hurt me so bad. And people just want you to get over it. Whatever they said, well, I said I was sorry, but yeah, I can't even get this out. But you want me to just say, oh, it's all good. No, it's not. You made an impact. I appreciate your apology, but give me a minute. I'm determined we're going to get to a healthy place because I am ready for our season of addition. But if we don't get the nutrition, we ain't going to have addition. And you cannot be content and complacent about where you are right now. Every day has to be a day where you're measuring a level of improvement. Why? Because you don't want to make an adverse impact on somebody's life. And when you try to apologize, it makes it worse. See what happens when he was trying to pull it out? Because it was so deep in. And can I suggest to you, Dick, I want you to have a seat. You can get it out there for me. I want to suggest to you, people of God, I want to suggest to you, I really want to suggest to you that when people have an impact on your life and it hurts you, you better listen to me. I'm trying to give you something that you can take the rest of your life. I'm talking about tangible practices that you can put into place and be successful. That's where I am in my ministry. I know how to do the other stuff. But what I want you to have is transformative actions where you can leave here and say, you know what, I'm applying that today. And when somebody makes a negative impact on you, you need to tell them, that hurt. That bothered me. And if you can't handle it at that moment, just let them know, you hurt me, but I do want to have a conversation with you later about it. I can't right now, though. Because I don't want to do what you have done to me. Because you do know, we know how to get the hammer back and make our own impact, don't you? Paul says to his protege Timothy, you got to know how to behave in the house of God. Are you with me? Keep reading, Sister Cynthia. Watch. Go ahead. It's the church of the living God, which is the pillar and the what? In the ground of truth. Why does Paul use architect to show a picture, right? Because when you think about a pillar, you think about a column or something that you can see on a building, right? And you think about that pillar being connected to the ground so that the pillar can stand. Get the picture. The pillar, foundation, the pillar stands, right? But it says the pillar and ground of what? Truth. Of what? Of what? Of what? Truth. Which means when an impact has been made on my life, guess what I got to do? You got to be grounded in truth, but you also got to communicate where you're grounded at. Truth. The church has the responsibility. Watch this. The church has the responsibility not only for people to see the truth, because I think that's why Paul gives the description of what it looks like. The obvious appearance of the pillar or the bulwark foundation established so that people can see the truth. But I also think he talks about the bulwark or the foundation of it so that people, when they see the truth, also we defend the truth so the truth doesn't fail. So the truth doesn't fail. And if we're not careful, when was the last time you demonstrated truth to somebody else? And when they tried to fight against truth, were you the bulwark who says, the truth got to stand? Or have you gotten to the place in your relationships where the truth doesn't matter because it's convenient and it keeps everybody feeling good but still not living in truth. And so in church, you know what we do? We walk on eggshells. Walk on eggshells. Walk on eggshells because people like to act like they want the truth. But then when you tell it to them, it's a struggle. They try to act like, I want it. Mm-mm. You don't want it. And too many times, people of God, too many times when we should defend and stand for truth, we faltered because we like that person. If you like me, if you love me, family, if you care for me, family, if you want to see our family grow, then the first order of business, after we get nutrition, we got to learn how to tell each other. I think if we're going to move to the next phase of what I've envisioned as it relates to ministry, that it starts with establishing that which is truth beyond those who are friends. I'll say it again because I don't want you to miss it. If we're going to get to the place where God wants us to be, and we're going to make a positive impact on the community, if we're going to make a positive impact on the lives of everybody sitting in here, we've got to have truth over convenience of who we like. And sometimes the people we like, isn't that amazing? We're afraid to tell the truth to. Talk back to me. And to me, the people that you like and love, those are the people who shouldn't mind you telling the truth. But perhaps they don't want to hear your truth is because they've never experienced your love. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Perhaps they don't want to hear your truth. It's because you never had a love impact. And so if you just come with your truth but no love, it's hard for me to hear it because I ain't never seen you love me. But you want to tell me the truth all of a sudden, but you didn't like me. You want to tell me the truth all of a sudden, you never supported me. You want to tell me the truth all of a sudden, you never covered me. You want to tell me the truth all of a sudden, you never protected me. You want to tell me the truth all of a sudden, you never provided for me. You want to tell me the truth. Now give me love and then tell me the. If you're going to tell me the truth, let me be able to have a moment of reflection while I've experienced your love. Because then it's better. I can hear it better. Because I know you love me. I can receive it better. Because you showed me some what? Show me some love. I laughed this week. Man, I ain't got but a minute and 33 seconds. I'm running. I laughed this week. I got a call from somebody I know love me. The media team tells me this all the time, but I got a call from somebody I know love this. She said, Pastor Josh. I said, yeah, baby. He said, on Sundays, it's more than the left side, right side in this church. I think I favor this side, do I? Or this side? I favor this side. She said, you know it's more than the left side, right? I'm sick of looking at your head. She said, so Sunday, you need to try to work both sides, right? Now, as a pastor, right, if I didn't have a relationship with that person, if I didn't know that that person has shown me some love and given me some love, guess what I could have done? I could have, and got frustrated and angry, and I said, you know what, baby, you right, somebody else told me that. Right? And it's okay, because guess what? Pastor ain't going to get it right all the time. And I don't know why my body be, I don't know. My brain be, it's more people. If they spread out, it's y'all fault. I said what I said. Right? But it's those small things that makes us better. Right? I could have looked at that as a negative and who she thinks telling me how to turn, all of that. But because I'm at a place where I want to hear truth from people I love, guess what I'm going to do Sunday? Try to position myself. You understand? And it has to be okay, my brothers and sisters. And if our ministry is going to grow, and I've been saying this, I've shared this with leaders, and I shared this with individuals, if our ministry is going to get to the place where it needs to be, we have to first establish the truth about where we are. Let's stop pretending we're a place we're really not. You got one person over here, guess what? It's fine. Because I already know what God has promised me for this year. I already know. I already know what's getting ready to happen to our ministry and the place we're getting ready to go. I already know. I'm just trying to get you ready. That you'll know how to love and handle and make a positive impact on the individuals who show up here. And guess what? Sometimes the best impact we can make, here's a principle, I want you to write it down. I want you to write this down, highlight it, tape it in your notes. I need you to write it, type it on the screen for me. Here is the principle, right? Mount Calvary, first impact we're going to make. It's a tangible piece that we can do that's transformative. We're going to start this right now. We're going to start this today, as of today. This is Mount Calvary. This is effective immediately, right? Every time somebody comes in this building, you ain't seen before. You hear me? Everybody at this church, I will ask an individual, I don't care who I ask, hey, who was the person who just left here? Everybody in here should know. It's tangible right now. Watch how we do it. Paul says to Timothy, watch how you do what? Behave in the what? House of God. There shouldn't be any individual who comes to our doors where we say, well, I don't know who that was. Well, why is that? Are you hearing me? If you are a member of this church and you want to represent me, and we want to represent our brand, when somebody comes in that door, ushers, you're my first order of business, and you ain't recognize them, you don't know them, do me a favor before you take them to their seat. Ask them their name. Hey, I'm Sister So-and-so. What's your name? That should be a recurring thing throughout our ministry. That's tangible and practical. We started when? When did that start? Started right now. It's tangible. Stuff that we can do. Because I'm tired of shouting and running and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and people come here and we don't even know who came. How we handle one another. Right? How we handle, how we behave in the house of God, how we behave as a family. Second tangible practical thing that we're going to start right away. Starts tonight. There should never be a member of Mount Calvary who shows up on a Sunday that you ain't at least said hi to. When we starting that? When we starting it? Right? These are two practical, tangible things. Those of you watching on the screen, this is how we're rolling. You got me? This is how we're behaving. And we have a list of those things that each week we're going to start. And so if you haven't spoke to people before you leave here tonight, shame on you to get in your car. And you haven't spoken to everybody who's in this building tonight. It ain't that many of us. These are practical things, and I'm out of time, that I want us to do. Right? What impact are we making? Don't come back later and say, oh, Pastor, I forgot or I ain't mean it. Guess what? Hold there now. I ain't mean to say that like that. I was just having a bad day. Guess what? Well, guess what's there now? I wasn't in a good mood, Pastor Johnson. I'm going to be better next week. Guess what's there? You made a bad impact. When we can make a good one and do it the right way. God bless you. It's been, my time is up. Thank you for yours. I appreciate you so much. Come on, we're going to make a positive impact. That's the type of ministry that we're aiming to be. Come on, bless God in the place. I appreciate you so much. Sister Johnson is coming with announcements. We got some things going on. Make sure we got things going on, I think, all weekend, Friday and Saturday. So let's make sure we govern ourselves accordingly. I love you so much. Hey, how y'all doing? Just spoke to everybody.
Thank you, Pastor Johnson, for that amazing word on tonight. We are encouraged as a result of you pouring into us. The Pastoral Care Ministry will host a fish fry on this Friday, April the 8th from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. The dinners are $10 each, and we are hoping that everyone in the house on tonight has a ticket for the fish fry. We will have fish, spaghetti, coleslaw, and a drink. So we are looking forward to seeing you on Friday at the fish fry here at the church. The Christian Education Ministry will host a financial seminar on Saturday, April the 9th, 2022, with Tremaine Poindexter from CFO Integrity Financial Firm. Please see Mr. Christopher Williams immediately following this worship service on tonight so that you can sign up. The youth ministry is selling Easter baskets. To purchase an Easter basket, you can see Sister Jeanette Ellaby in the foyer immediately following worship. There will be a parking lot cookout on Saturday, June the 4th, 2022, to celebrate the pastoral anniversary weekend. Tickets are $12 per person to include one choice of meat, chicken, ribs, or Polish, 2 sides, which will include spaghetti or baked beans or corn or potato salad. So make sure that you are seeing someone from PCM immediately following this worship service so you can get your tickets for that as well. The 13th pastoral anniversary will be held on Sunday, June the 5th, 2022. Let's prepare to be a blessing to our shepherd of this house. PCM is asking each member to sow a seed of $130 per person. We are asking each ministry to plant a seed as well. This year there will be a layaway plan, 3 Sundays of $45 for each person if you are wanting to use that option. The dates left are April the 17th and May the 1st, and we started on last Sunday. So you can look for any member of PCM to make your layaway payment. To order Pastor Johnson's first book project, Looking Within, please go to lakevcjohnson.com, amazon.com, kobo.com, Barnes & Noble, or you can see me immediately following any services. We still want to keep Brother Charles Wilson in our prayers in the loss of his grandson. These are your weekly announcements. Please govern yourselves accordingly and have an amazing Wednesday. God bless you all.